Welcome to RTA Motorsports.
Hello everyone and welcome. Crash here. This is RTA Motorsports. Let's make sure everything is up and running. Everything is looking pretty good so far, so let me know if there's any audio issues or anything like that. You're going to notice that my speech is a little bit off, a little bit slurred, and this side of my face here is actually a little bit swollen. I'm having some really bad TMJ, or actually it's technically called TMD, but my TMJ on this side is absolutely killing me for the past week, and I just decided this couldn't wait any longer. We needed to get going with this because I just want to see it. I'm too excited, and it had to wait for the unboxing. So I'm working through the pain here because this item is very special, and it's something that we were all waiting for. So what we're going to be doing is unboxing this here. Let's see if anyone has any guesses as to what this may be. And I'm going to just quickly set up chat in here. Let's move this to the side real quick. I just noticed that in this window of OBS, we don't have chat set up, and that is not a good thing. So hopefully everyone's doing real good, real well. Let's see if we could just add this. There we go. Boom. Nope, actually that wasn't that wasn't it at all. I love OBS, but it's still beyond me. It's still way beyond my comprehension. Let's see. Boom, add existing. Haha, we got it. Alright, so you're going to see the Restream icon. It's on the top left, so if you want to participate in chat at all, your message is going to be there on the left top of the screen. So, shall we? You can see that the box says FANATEC, or FANATEC, however you pronounce it. And I'll show you this side here. It is the CSL Elite steering wheel, the McLaren GT3. We finally got it. It's something I've been asking FANATEC for a long time. But unfortunately, they didn't have any review units, or they didn't have any units available to send any earlier. They were sorting out some issues that we remember they were very open about, which is really cool to see a company kind of open about any sort of troubleshooting of a new product. Especially a product like this that had a lot of hype behind it. So they were very transparent of their issues that they were having with it, that they were sorting out before they delivered. And I'm very grateful that they did that, because I would rather wait for a product than something, be delivered to a lot of people, get a lot of people upset because it's subpar or it's having issues or anything like that. Needless to say, we finally got ours in. And I was a little bit thrown off because the box came just like this, which is fine, but I was a little nervous once I saw it, because I'm like, oh geez, man, I hope none of these go missing. Just like, as if a Nintendo Switch is getting shipped somewhere, and on the outside all over it says Nintendo Switch. You can almost imagine that some people might actually snag that up. Hopefully not. Wow, sorry about that. Hopefully not, but yeah. I'm glad and grateful that mine made it to me, even with all the FANATEC logos kind of plastered all over it. It was shipped through FedEx, which I really like. I don't have any FedEx issues here. I know some people do. I don't. I more so have issues with UPS and USPS. classic box within a box fashion. You can see Xbox One and Windows 10 compatible. The CSL Elite steering wheel, McLaren GT3. Very excited because this is actually my my second add-on wheel that we have for our Fanatec CSL Elite. We've been using our BMW GT3, oh well, no, not GT3, our BMW steering wheel since we've gotten this wheelbase, and everyone has told me that the BMW wheel is nice, it's made well, it's constructed well, but wait until you try something lighter. Just wait, and they've always been telling me just wait, and I've been waiting for a product like this because I love GT3 style racing. I didn't know if I wanted to go necessarily with the F1 steering wheel, even though that's a gorgeous steering wheel. I might still end up getting that one day. But once this was announced, it was right up my alley because I love GT3. So I'm pretty excited. On the back of the box here, it says basically all the buttons and switches are labeled on here. You have the up and down toggles, the OLED tuning display, as we all know, the blue display on the top middle. 3 multi-position switches. It's upgradable. It has some carbon texture to it. It's not real carbon fiber. It has soft rubber grips. Kind of curious to see how it feels with my gloves, because I love racing with my gloves. But Sim Racing Garage, I want to say, is the channel. Very techie sort of channel. Very informative channel. He did some testing on it, and the rubber grips, he was saying, it was a little bit firmer than what the advertised firmness was for the rubber grips on his that he received. He has a special tool to test it, I guess. But they were still soft to him, so we're going to check that in a moment, see exactly how that feels. And he enjoyed using it more bare hand than with his actual racing gloves. He was saying that his racing gloves were kind of slippery on the rubber grips. I'm hoping that's not the case, but it wouldn't be a deal breaker for me because let's just face it, it's hot up here. It's hot in the studio. Again, if you're just joining in, thank you so much and welcome. You can see here we're unboxing this live. If I do sound a little bit slurry or anything like that, it's because I'm having some really bad TMJ issues, and we're just kind of fighting through the pain here. So, first flap open, there is no finish line. I guess that means they're never stopping, which is pretty cool. That can be taken multiple different ways. Hopefully you all can see this pretty well. You can see as soon as you open it up, let's turn it this way. You can see you're greeted with this here first, and this is the book, and it looks like a bunch of stickers. I'll hold this up here. Hopefully you could all see that pretty good. I know I have it on manual focus, this camera here, so if I bring it up too close, you're not necessarily going to see it. It's going to be blurred out. But we have all these stickers here. We have the book. Let's open this up. Quick start guide. And I could already see we're going to have to turn this back. We're just flip-flopping. I wanted you to see what the book looked like in your orientation, but the wheel's going to be upside down. So that's not good. Really long book. But it's made real well. Really thick. Really thick. And everything's really big font, really big text. It looks like everything's really easy to read. Looks like it comes with its own tool, which is really nice to see. For the fixation screw. A lot of people don't really use their fixation screw. On my BMW rim, I had to because the quick release was vibrating horribly without it. But it does say to use the fixation screw. Once I used it, all that vibration went away. I guess it kind of depends on your quick release, whether or not, or on your wheel, whether or not you will get that vibration or not. A lot of people say they don't use the fixation screw, but with this wheel, with this setup right now, you have to. That's the only way to use it. There is an add-on, I guess they're coming out with, or they already came out with, where you could actually add on the quick release mechanism on here and remove the actual mounting setup that's on here, the plastic CSL Elite mounting setup. So we might actually end up upgrading to that because there might be some movement within the wheelbase that we won't want, but we'll cover that another time and see if that even is a thing. It may not even be a thing for us. All right, here are all the stickers. They're pretty nice looking stickers. And these are actual like car stickers. Here, let me actually hold it up to this one so you can see it pretty well there. There we go. We found a way. These are actually pretty nice. We're going to be using these. And look at this. Big page of stickers. And we're definitely going to use these two on the rig. Because at the moment, we're Fanatec. We were Thrustmaster. And no hate anywhere, but being that we're all Fanatec, might as well use the stickers, right? And you got them in all different sizes, which is pretty cool. And some of these look like they will fit on the center of wheels. I might put some of these on my CTS-V. All right, let's get these off to the side. And I guess it's time for the big item. And honestly, just sitting in the box like this, you can see the size of my hand. I'm a 6-foot male, normal sized hands. It's a lot bigger than I was expecting. Now, here's the thing, and this is why I never purchased a CSL Elite anything from Fanatec. In the pictures, compared to their other line, it's a keynote, says, nice stickers to go on the racing rig. Yeah, definitely. But like I was saying, a lot of the CSL Elite stuff in pictures just looks kind of toyish compared to their other line of wheels. Not saying that they are. I've never seen them in real life, and I don't own any of them. All I own is this BMW wheel. And this BMW wheel coming from like Thrustmaster felt like I just took a wheel out of a real car, and it's heavy and it's very robust. And looking at the CSL Elite line, it feels more like a Thrustmaster-ish sort of direct competitor, which is no big deal, which is not a bad thing. But I was kind of nervous buying this because even this wheel in pictures to me didn't look as impressive as like their F1 wheel, if you get what I'm trying to say there. It doesn't look as like necessarily realistic. Looks a little bit more toyish in pictures. Just seeing it sit right here in front of me, just right here in the packaging, it looks nothing like in the pictures. I mean, it looks much more serious in person. So I'm kind of excited and nervous to get this out. I hope this stays that way. All right. Oh, we got some more products down here. Let's see what this is. Just some packing material for the back of it. And before we get to the wheel, we're going to go over this. Save the best for last. These are switch covers, button covers. And you could replace all the Xbox One button covers with these here. And you can see these have all the actual car commands. You have some arrows. You have seat back and forth, you know, high beams, stuff like that. Is there a pit request? You could turn into manual mode, windshield wipers, horn, stuff like that. So pretty neat that they offer, they didn't have to do this. They didn't have to offer these at all with the wheel. I mean, this could have been an add-on item, and it's cool that it comes with the wheel, which is absolutely impressive and highly appreciated for the price. I mean, this wheel for an add-on wheel of this magnitude is really cheap if you think about it. I mean, cheap is a relative term, I understand that, but all the things they're including so far, I'm very excited for. Oh my gosh. I suddenly have no more TMJ pain. Oh my gosh. It's heavy. Surprisingly heavy. I was expecting it to be not like this. It just has, I mean, it's in the bag. Let's get it out of the bag. What am I doing here? Oh my gosh, I'm dropping stuff. Oh, that's just silica. Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh man. I know you're all there, and I'm sorry. I'm just kind of like, I'm just taking this in. This is something else. It's definitely different in person. I'm sad I waited this long, but I just been in bad shape. This is gorgeous. This is absolutely gorgeous. So let's go over this wheel a little bit. Some first impressions. The first thing that got me is this carbon pattern is really gorgeous. The way they did it, it kind of looks like a carbon wrap, like a vinyl wrap, because it has texture to it. And it doesn't look like, I wouldn't say it looks like real carbon fiber, because it doesn't. But it's not bad looking at all. And it doesn't look like, what I was afraid it was going to look like is just plastic that's etched. You know, like a plastic face that's etched. And this doesn't. This kind of looks like a really nice, like a 3M carbon wrap, which is really cool. I'm not exactly sure what it is, to be honest with you, but that's how it looks. And then you could almost see the carbon sort of pattern through the McLaren GT3, like it's silk screened on or something. I don't know if you could see that real well there. I know I have the manual focus on that camera up there, so it's going to get blurred out. Let's try this one here if I get too close. There you go. You can kind of see it through the GT3 really clearly. And it kind of, in doing so, it makes it look a little bit more realistic, you know? But it has a, for an elite wheel, it has some presence to it. Like, oh my gosh. The neutral and the, I'm assuming that's park, or you have to press these hard. There's some force that is needed to get these in. This doesn't feel like a, and the one major thing I was afraid of, it would feel like a childish product, and it doesn't. This thing has some nice presence to it. So it has a nice little funky switch here in the bottom that is easily, you could feel. The one thing I don't like about my funky switch on the BMW wheel, you in VR especially, sometimes when you're moving it around, it's not that big of a deal, but you can't really tell, like a D-pad, whether you're pushing up, down, left, or right. This one, this funky switch here, as I'm moving it around, you can kind of hear it. It has 4 distinct locations that the wheel will fall into, almost like a D-pad, and it clicks as you push it each way. So you could do up, down, left, or right selections, as well as move it around like a normal funky switch and push it in. And also you could twist it. There's some gates there as well. So it's very nice multi-purpose switch, and I kind of prefer it more this way than the BMW one, even though I know the BMW one is an older wheel. Just that one's a very loose, almost like mouse tracker sort of old school funky switch, which is, you know, it works, but this is nice. This is nice. All the buttons have a nice short throw to them with a positive tactile click. These red switches here, oh, they feel nice. They feel like what you would expect in a Derek Spears Designs button box, to be honest with you. And a lot of people here that are watching this know what I'm talking about. Griffin465, how much did that cost? So let's see the current, and I paid, you know, they didn't send this to me for free. I'm not, our channel's tiny by comparison compared to most, so we're not getting that sort of attention from any of these manufacturers. Right now in America, it's $169.95. And then shipping and handling is on top of that. Let's see. So yeah, $169.95. Let's fix this here because I actually just lost my chat for a second there. And then it's a keynote, says, how is that wheel compared to the Thrustmaster PC F1? Now that's another thing too. I've never used that F1 wheel from Thrustmaster. I never purchased it. Actually, when I was going to, and I was really going to, that's when my TX wheelbase died. I had my Ferrari 599 XX Evo wheel, and I loved that wheel. I think this one here is bigger though, because I think the Thrustmaster F1 wheel is more comparable in size to the Fanatec F1 wheel, where F1 wheels are smaller than GT3 wheels. I think this one's like 30 centimeters, I want to say. Let's see. See if they give any... Yep, the diameter is 30 centimeters on this. And let's see if we could find what the Thrustmaster... Because now you got me curious. What their diameter wheel is. Now I know there's a lot of people that love the F1 wheel from Thrustmaster. The one main thing that I would notice immediately is like they have a bunch of switches or turn dials that I should say on the Thrustmaster F1 wheel, and that was the one thing that kind of turned me off. They're fake, and they're like embossed in the plastic itself. You know, it doesn't take away from the experience because I race in VR. I'm not looking at this, but with this sitting on my rig and people walk in, I want them to say, "Wow, damn, look at that." Whereas that F1 wheel, it's a nice looking wheel, but you could clearly see that those turn dials are fake. But there's a lot of people that actually mod them and make them real. And that wheel is cheaper than this one. I think you could find the F1 wheel for around, you know, 120 bucks. Whereas this is about 170 bucks. If you have Fanatec, there's no reason for you to be looking at this. If you have both wheelbases, I think this one would probably be the more substantial, realistic option. Let's see, I'm trying to see if you can see the diameter here. I don't know if they actually advertise the diameter of the F1 add-on wheel, but I could have sworn I remember hearing like 28. Let's see. I am really curious. You done sparked my curiosity. It is narrower than 30, but they're not saying exactly how much more. They're not giving a... So, you know, it's probably more closer in size to a normal Ferrari wheel. I mean, F1 wheel, which F1 wheels are smaller than GT3 wheels. The main thing that I like about it being 30, though, is for grown adults like us, the F1 wheel, I mean, the GT3 wheel is not going to feel that close in. You're not going to feel as, like your hands are closer together, a little too uncomfortable for me. But if you race F1 all the time, if that's your style of sim racing, then you might want to look at the F1 wheels, which Fanatec and Thrustmaster got you covered on that as far as those options are concerned. But this, I mainly race GT3. I love GT3, so I'm glad they have a GT3 specific option finally. So let's go over the wheel a little bit more. So these here are to go to your different profiles. You have your little screen here that has some blue font, Xala Gaming, and you got the 59XX Evo rim. and he loves it. Yep, I have mine still on the wall. Have not sold it, even though we don't have the Thrustmaster. It's become a design piece. I love that wheel. See, Xala Gaming got the Thrustmaster F1 wheel. It feels like a toy. Jealous of the new GT3. Aw, thank you so much. It has suede grips. Which one has suede grips? Let's see. It's also wrapped in carbon vinyl. Interesting, interesting. Okay, so yeah, this one here is to go through the different options. This is, I think this is like a select button here. You have these switches here that you can map to anything you want. You have these that you can map. We do have the stickers here that we could kind of put around here to kind of give us a reminder as to what we are setting up our wheel as. You have these back here. These buttons that we can map to anything we want. Funky switch, and then being that this is an Xbox One and PC rim, this is not going to work on your PlayStation without some software modding or anything like that, or any fancy boxes that some people sell to make your Xbox stuff work on PlayStation. But we do have our Xbox button here, so this is going to work there. The grips, to me, they are soft. But they're not spongy soft. They are still kind of firm, but they are pliable enough. They don't feel like they're going to wear out anytime soon. Bare hand, they feel nice. They feel slightly a little bit sticky, so I don't feel like my hand's going to just run off. Let me throw on my racing gloves and kind of address that concern I had. With Sim Racing Garage, they were saying that felt slippery to him with his racing gloves. Now, we're not using the same gloves. So, let's see. No, not at all. This actually feels really nice. And the gloves that I'm using are from Race Equip. They have kind of a Alcantara grip, like a suede grip on the bottom of the gloves themselves. These, you can see I'm like twerking my hand here. My hand's not really turning that much. These feel very, very good with my gloves on. I don't really foresee my hands slipping at all. My hands kind of slip on the buttons there, on the plastic buttons, but yeah. I like it. I definitely like it. And now for the back, the paddle shifters in the back. You have the, is this metal? Oh, it is. So you have this, it feels like it's aluminum or maybe cast aluminum. Top rocker here, which feels really good. I don't necessarily mind that it's a rocker because it's really one or the other. And let's face it, this wheel is designed after the real thing. It's not necessarily something that they don't have in the real wheel. This is their design point that is copied by Fanatec from the McLaren GT3 wheel. These pedals here on the bottom, these plastic ones, I'm not sure, kind of curious to see if this is actual like a design thing that they have in the real McLaren GT3 wheel. I don't know if you could see that right through this bottom here. Let me try to turn this up a little bit so you can see. The paddle on the inside, you can kind of see the plastic, and it's hollow with some plastic veins through there. But it's, you know, it doesn't look as pretty as the rest of the wheel, and I don't know if that's just something that's on the real McLaren GT3. Let's look this up real quick. See if we can find some pictures and say whether or not this is kind of a real thing that they have in the car. And then of course McLaren, they have multiple different designs of their GT3. So it's kind of like you got to find the GT3 wheel that they... So I'm not really finding the exact same one. But, you know, I'm not really a fan of that look necessarily. But if it's from the actual vehicle, there's really nothing for me to say there besides, you know, they went to that length. But that's the only thing that I think looks-wise kind of doesn't let this wheel down at all. But it's the only knock that I would give it is just how that paddle looks through the wheel. That's the only thing that is clearly plastic and looks plasticky. But I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they did on the rear wheel to save weight, you know, not make it a solid plastic piece. They don't have to necessarily. But I am really liking it. And then I can't wait to try the launch control feature that these wheels offer. So you could have the, you know, these here you kind of, I think it's to engage, you have to hold them both, and then you let one out to basically start the car rolling. You set your clutch bite point, and then you slowly let the other one out, and then you start your switching of the gears there, and it's to eliminate wheel spin, essentially a manual launch control, which is going to be friggin' awesome. I can't wait to do that, and it's probably going to end up helping us get out of the hole much faster and be a lot more competitive in these GT3 style races that we're doing every so often. This here, my gosh, there. Wow, that was in there good. This is the tool. So let's see if we could figure out how to break this apart here. Up. I just dropped something. Alright, so we dropped the fixator screw. It's got a nice, like, black chrome sort of... Let's see if we can get that in the camera. I'm a fan of gunmetal. I love me some gunmetal. It's not focusing. Oh well. But you can kind of see it there. It's almost like a black chrome, gunmetal-ish sort of color to it. That's a fixation screw. And the rest of the hardware on this wheel has that same sort of color, except for this pin on the top. This pin on the top is like a chrome, whereas the rest of all the hardware has that black chrome sort of finish to it, / gunmetal. Even these on the back here. I love that. And this is the tool here. You can see the tool to put the fixation screw in, which is kind of neat. I want to see if it's actually the same size as it should be. Same fixator screw size as what's on my BMW GT3 wheel. And it's not. Very interesting. So that's actually not the same size. Kind of curious as to why. But, you know, this is one of their older wheels, so I'm wondering if I could use just this instead of that one there. Maybe just flip it back and forth so now that we have a tool. Nice little compact tool at that. So this just kind of fits on there. Right on there like that, and you just stick it in. So it's always on there, always ready to go. Whenever you're storing it, you just stick it right back in here with the F logo in the correct orientation, push it down, and it clicks. It takes some force though. So you probably to get this out. I don't know if you're going to be able to do this. Maybe with like two hands pushing out that way when the wheel is mounted. I'm kind of wondering if you should just leave this out when you install your wheel. I don't know if it has to be in there. There's no reason. I see it should be in there. But, I mean, it's nice for safekeeping so that way you never lose it. But Look, it feels like it's getting easier to take in and out, but two hands, because it's such a small surface area to get your hand on, you can only get like half of your thumb on there at a time, so you almost got to grab it with two hands, and it pops right out. But through heavy sim racing sessions, it's not going nowhere, nor is it rattling, which is probably why they made the tolerances so darn tight. All right, Chet's kind of starting to get some action there. Let's see, let's catch up a little bit. The Shark 80, what do you recommend for first wheel, GT27 or G29 or Thrustmaster TMX? All right, so a little bit of a hot topic for me, but prices have come down, prices have corrected on the G29. Really, if you could get a 27 or 29, I recommend either one. I like those wheels for what they are. If you could find them cheap. The TMX to me is a better wheel though. The only problem with the Thrustmaster TMX, you can't change the wheel out. So whatever wheel's on the TMX, which is their plastic wheel with rubber side grip extensions, you're stuck with that. So if you cannot go, nor can you change the wheel on the G27 or G29. So all of those wheels, the wheel is fixed. Think about just how much you might get into it. You might want to upgrade for your first wheel to just be a Thrustmaster T300 or TX or even the Fanatec CSL Elite wheelbase. So that way you're not kind of holding yourself to one wheelbase with one wheel, and then you want to upgrade, then you have to sell your hardware and get new hardware, because that happened to me, and that happens to most sim racers when they get into it. So if you could save up a little bit more, even if you have to save up, or if you're just wondering if you might get into it, if there's a thought that you would want to buy an add-on wheel in the future, or if you think that this is cool, get a T300 TX or the Fanatec CSL Elite and save yourself a lot of time, because the TMX is a nice wheel, but you're stuck with that wheel. And if all you do is normal car racing that doesn't require different wheelbases, then that's fine. But if you think you would want to upgrade, you're kind of stuck. So that's my 2 cents. They're all good wheels, all the ones you've listed, as long as you could find them at a good price. RVR Closet, hi, pretty nice looking wheel. This is the one, this is the same diameter as the Fanatec F1 rims. No, this one's actually a little bit bigger. Let me see if Fanatec advertises their F1 wheel diameter, which I think they do. I would love to try their F1 wheels one day. Let's see. They offer so many wheels now. They have so many wheels. Their Club Sport steering wheel, Formula. Let's see. I love the Alcantara on these wheels though. I mean, the F1 wheels are gorgeous. So yeah, the F1 wheel, its diameter is 26 centimeters. This is 30 centimeters. So you got quite a sizable difference between the two, which is appropriate for what you're racing for. So with F1, you are stuck in that little cockpit, and that's why they made the wheel that way. GT3 is different. So that's why we went this way. And we do race a lot of GT3. Tom Jones, Crash got a new toy? Oh yeah. Ray Martinez, Mr. Pops, that's my Pops there. We're going to be actually getting him in sim racing. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, I don't have it here. I have an old Hyper 212 Evo that I made into basically a desk piece. I drew a face on it, and now it has ears, and the ears are old DDR3 memory. Basically hooked them up with my old AMD 8350 system, and the RAM was bad. So every time he would go into his Oculus, the system would blue screen out. So we bought him some new RAM, and I ended up keeping the old RAM as a design piece. So you'll probably see that in some videos in the background, but it's up on a shelf right now. But yeah, soon hopefully we'll get him in there and get him going, so that way we can do some videos together. The Sharks 80, thanks for the advice. Hey, no problem, no problem. Definitely, you know, email me on the channel here. Email me on YouTube. Sometimes YouTube's a little weird. You don't get notifications of your emails, which kind of stinks because a lot of people send me emails and I never get notifications. But I do go through every so often and check to see if there's any new messages. So if it takes me a while to go back, that's what happened. So the F1 is 26 centimeters. Yes, the Fanatec F1 wheel. This is the GT3 wheel, which is 30 centimeters. But yeah, I'm looking at it right here on their website. It says replica of the steering wheel used in Formula cars. A compact diameter of 26 centimeters allow for fast movement and reaction. So this is quite a bit larger, but you know, it all depends on what you're going for and what you race. Really, like I said a few times already, GT3 is what we race here. So yeah. And again, if I'm sounding a little funky, I'm having some TMJ issues, a little bit swelling in the face here. So I'm trying my best to work through the pain, but I couldn't handle it. I had this box on my island downstairs and I was just staring at it for the past week and I didn't want to open it until we did it live here. And I'm so glad we did. I'm so glad we did. Am I doing any driving tonight? Unfortunately, no. My neck is, this whole area is just pretty bad right now, and I don't want to do too much. It really took me a lot to ice up my face to get up here and do this. So, yeah, I'm not going to do too much. We're going to be doing some driving soon, though. I want to drive with this thing, but I can feel the headache starting to kick back in, and my jaw is starting to get a little bit aggravated. Tomorrow we're going to the dentist to make sure that my teeth are not having any sort of misalignment issues, which can cause TMJ issues. And then I'm going to the acupuncturist. I had some very good luck with acupuncture in the past, so we're going to give that a shot too. And then hopefully if we are feeling better, you know, we'll be driving probably the next day. Oh, it's a Kino says he was talking about the Thrustmaster PCTS F1 wheel. Comes as a unit, not sold separately. I'm going to have to look into this compared to the wheel you just got. You know, I never even heard of that. I'm kind of curious if it's just their F1 wheel on the base already. Oh! I think I know what you're talking about. The Thrustmaster PCTS. Isn't that backwards? Let me see. I know they have two versions of it, so I know what you're talking about. We actually had that wheel for a little bit. It's TSPC. That's why it was throwing me off. It's TSPC, not PCTS. So you were saying it backwards. It's TSPC Racer. It's very easy to throw me off right now, though. So that wheel, diameter-wise, I want to say it was like 28. It didn't feel like it was this big, but I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. But of course, on their website, they don't advertise the wheel diameter that I could find, but it's probably there somewhere. Let's see. Let's see if we could find this information real quick, because again, a lot of people love that wheel. The wheel itself, like if you go back, because we actually did a review of it. I owned it. I bought it from Fry's locally, and I fell in love with it when I unboxed it. The wheel itself, I fell in love with it. The wheelbase, I wasn't so impressed by for the price, especially coming out of my Thrustmaster TX. It was definitely stronger. The wheelbase itself is a stronger unit, and it's a solid unit, but there was some things that I was missing. You might want to look at that video, because it's been so long. I don't want to just make stuff up on the fly here. There was a lot of things I went through, but the one thing that I do like that they offer now is an LED display that goes through Bluetooth, and it looks like it mounts right up to that wheel. That is sick. It has like rev lights and everything. I mean, it looked like it, you know, on the Thrustmaster wheel that it had a plate that would unbolt, but looks like now they sell a display for it. See how much that display is. Oh, there's no prices. No prices on their website, but there's a display there. And I wonder if it actually does mount to it, because they're not saying that it mounts to it. They're being kind of vague. Interesting. It looks like it would fit right in that spot, but they're not saying that it does. And let's see if we could find... Yeah, let's actually switch this over. Looks like my camera's about to die. Let's see. So yeah, we're gonna switch this over to this because my my main shooter is about to go. For some reason, my wall outlet wasn't working for it. I'm not seeing any sort of information regarding the diameter of that wheel, which is interesting. It didn't feel bad, but I want to say it was like around 28 centimeters. It definitely wasn't 30. Brought it up because the F1 wheel looks more like, looks more comfortable since you're 6'3", big hands. The wheel you got, the holes look tight. I don't think the holes necessarily feel. You can kind of see here next to, I'm 6 foot, so it's, you know, works for me. The holes are not necessarily tight, but I kind of get what you're saying. I have some friends that are around your height, so I might, you know, get their input when we do the full review. Kind of, you know, see how it works for everybody. But I don't think you would have an issue with this one. That one there, I'm sure it would be comfortable, but I want to say it was a little bit tighter this way. Tom Jones, battery's low, Crash. Battery low. Yep, it's actually still on. I'm looking at it. It's still, look at this. It's still on. It's lying to me. It's lying to me. Oh, man. But we'll keep it like this so that way we don't have a black screen there. And, oh, yeah, and we got to get a... We got to get chat on here. What are we doing? See, browser. Boom. All right. It's a Keynote says they haven't decided to sell it separately. You want to buy it for your TX. Yeah, that's a little weird. Tom Jones, off topic, Crash, but OSW or AccuForce? I cannot say, because I don't own either one, and I've never tried either one. I want to try it. It's actually bugging the living beep out of me. I've actually spoke to Sim Racing Patriot about actually trying his wheel, because I'm not too far away from him. I'm a few hours, but not too far away from him, just so I could, you know, get an idea as to what, you know, what we're looking at here. I've tried a direct drive wheel in a convention, and it was kind of, it was a car show. It was the International Auto Show here where I live, and they had the wheel turned down so far I couldn't really get much feel. I felt what I needed to feel to get around the track, and I think I had the second fastest lap time aside from the guy that is in charge of the unit. He puts the unit together and tests it out. And he was a young guy, obvious sim racer. It was funny. And my time was off of his of like 0.04 of a second around the Nürburgring GP. It was awesome. But the wheelbase itself was turned way down. I couldn't really feel as to, couldn't make a comparison off of that. So I would be curious to try one. And I think he has an OSW. The AccuForce, I know they changed some things with their AccuForce, but you know, it's expensive to just buy just to try it. I know I would love them. I know I would love them because, I mean, the fan base, the type of people that they have behind them that are basically saying that these units have like lifted a veil of force feedback off their eyes coming from any of these wheels. My Fanatec CSW, it's kind of hard to think now. Yeah, my Club Sport wheelbase here. I absolutely love it. I think it's probably the best belt-driven wheelbase I've tried. I know there's some people that like the TSPC Racer. I don't knock them for that. It wasn't for me. I tried it. I didn't like it. But I love my Club Sport wheelbase. The general consensus is OSW and AccuForce are above that. No doubt in my mind that they are. Even Fanatec now is coming out with their podium line soon of their direct drive wheels. So I'm not sure. I would love to try any of them, but I can't say. Am I going to wait on that podium? I would like to try them all. I don't necessarily have to buy them. I would like to be in a space where I could try them just so I could give you guys information. And that's a hard thing, you know, when you have a channel like this, is that unless you decide to put yourself in a pretty hard situation, it's very hard to get products in to test or to go to a place to test, because here in America we don't have like the sim racing conventions that they have over in Europe, where you could, you know, go from booth to booth and try a lot of these products. So we're kind of stuck here. Tom Jones says he likes to look at the AccuForce more, but wonders if you'll be giving up anything versus the OSW. Especially, you know, that's my thought too, especially being that they have changed their design on the AccuForce, I want to say. It's kind of like a hybrid design now, from what I remember. I haven't really investigated it any further because we don't have one. But yeah, it's very interesting. It would be interesting to see what the differences are between the two and whether or not it's even tangible, because the sim experience AccuForce, the one thing I like about it is it's more of a plug and play unit, which is nice. The OSW seems to, it doesn't ever seem to be too bad, but you know, there's a lot of DIY kits out there, and that can kind of make things a little bit sticky, especially if you don't have much time. But anyway, to get back to the topic at hand, we have the McLaren GT3 add-on wheel here, and quite honestly, I'm absolutely impressed. I am blown away. Can't wait to get this thing on the rig going. We definitely have to. We definitely have to mount this up eventually and get this going real soon. So stay tuned for that, for the first impressions video. I think this video has gone on long enough just for an unboxing. I'm Crash's RTA Motorsports. Definitely wish me luck tomorrow. Hopefully we finally get this TMJ issue kind of resolved and get me feeling better soon so we could start back pumping out some videos. I did start working on a garage work vlog, me and my pops. He was just in chat not too long ago. He came out, visited, and helped me get started on my garage, finishing the garage. So we have some more work that we're going to be doing there. Once I get going, we're going to be continuously filming that, as well as we did a lot of work to our Cadillac CTS-V. We are, I don't want to say the exact horsepower figures, but it's pretty wild of a ride. So I'm definitely going to be giving you some insight into that, as well as my thoughts on modding a newer vehicle and what that could mean for you. So I'm Crash, RTA Motorsports. Thank you so much for joining in, and we'll see you all next time.